Hello and welcome back to Think Turkey, and in today's video we'll be talking to you about Istanbul and Antalya. These are the top two cities when it comes to the tourism numbers and also when it comes to expats. So let's get into Istanbul and Antalya. Let's find out what makes these two cities special. What should we do? What are the prices when it comes to properties in these two cities? I'm going to be showing you some properties as well in terms of just giving you an idea of what it is that you're looking to spend when it comes to Istanbul, when it comes to Antalya, and also we'll be further breaking down into the categories. So when there's, whether it's sea view or it's non-sea view, so we're kind of looking at, give you an idea of what those categories are and give you a rough idea of what you're looking to spend if you're planning to get into these markets. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so what I've prepared for you guys today is, first of all, to give you a general idea of these two cities, right? So let's talk about population, in terms of the expat population there, in terms of the tourism numbers there, right? So let's give you a general idea, first of all. So let's say, in terms of expats living in Istanbul and Antalya, right? So in Istanbul, the expat numbers was in 2021, because that's the latest figures we got right now, which was 740,000 expats, compared to the year before, which was 450,000. So that's almost like 300,000 expats increased over the last year, which is actually quite a lot. So you can see that Istanbul is definitely becoming a very attractive place for expats, and obviously due to many issues happening around the world, many conflicts, many situations causing people to move, they're finding Istanbul to be an attractive place to live. In the coming years. Now, the second place for expat population did go to Ankara, which was at 173,264, so around 173,000 expat population, right? So if you compare that with Istanbul, that's obviously nowhere near that. It's like 1/7 of that. So third place was Antalya. So Antalya had about 136,900, so around 137 we can say. So 137, so which is in terms of the size of the city. So we're talking the population of these cities are a lot smaller compared to Istanbul. Istanbul is a huge city, depending on where you want to count from. So if you look at Ankara and Antalya, these are much smaller cities, right? So now we're in the main part of the video, which is looking at properties in these two cities and giving you a rough idea of how much the costs are, and actually showing you some properties itself to give you an idea of what they look like and what you're paying for in these two cities, right? So I want to compare, even like show you in terms of certain areas and also with sea view and non-sea view, and you'll get an idea of what things cost in Istanbul and what things may cost in Antalya. So I'll start off with Antalya, apartments in Antalya. So in Antalya, we're looking at approximately, let's look at Dosemalti for apartments, right? Usually Dosemalti, this region is basically 30 minutes north of the city center. It's known for villas, basically. So here, there are also apartments, but these are a lot cheaper than other areas of Antalya. We're looking at 600,000 Turkish liras, which is today's currency rate about $40,000. And this is the starting price. But again, this apartment may not be an ideal apartment. So I'll just tell you the average price of a good construction, nicely done apartment, which is not luxury, but I will say it's nice mid-level, mid to high level sort of apartment, right? So we are looking at 1 to 1.5 million for a 2+1 apartment, and the average price is going to be about 1.5 to 2 million for a 3+1. So let me. So here you can see, for example, this apartment here, which is, it's in a nice complex. It's a 2+1. It's about 110 square meters of net usable area, you've got a pool, you've got a basketball court and stuff, and it's really well done. It's really well built, in a nice compound, so this is something pretty decent. And these actually, while they were being built, these were quite cheap. Actually, you know, when you buy them early on, of course, there's a little bit of risk, but if you know what you're doing, you know the builders and stuff, you've researched them, and you get them early on, then yeah, you can pretty much save quite a bit. So that's for the apartments, right? So if you look at Dosemalti, now let's talk about Dosemalti Villas in Dosemalti. So here is a villa, for example. It's going for about 5.8, 5.9 million, and you know it's a 4+1, a 4-bedroom, and it's quite large in terms of the usable area, 280, 290, which is pretty good. Usually average villas are about 200 to 250, you know, at most. So this is something a little bit bigger. And so the exchange rate for this right now would be, let's say, we're looking at about what, almost $400,000. So yeah, this one's, because it's a bit bigger, this is the price of, so don't be you know, discouraged by this price, like, oh, I need $400,000 for a villa. No, you can get villas that are a lot cheaper than that. I would say $300,000 is a fair number. Can we get something for 250, 260, 270,000? Yes, you can, but this is where a lot of expertise is needed to make sure that, you know, what you're paying for is actually appropriate, and there's nothing wrong with that place. So an average number to give here would be $300 to $450,000. You can get something. This one's a bit bigger. Like I said, it's even the land space is quite nice. It's got 500 square meters of land. But otherwise, you can get something even starting off at 270, 275 would be the starting point. Now, let's go to Konyaalti Apartments, right? Let's look at Konyaalti. This is non-sea view. Konyaalti is a very premium area in Antalya. So it's basically, you know, newly developed. It's got a beautiful seaside kind of atmosphere. You've got built up, like, you know, pathways. You've got a basketball courts and exercise lanes and scooters that you can, you know, electric scooters that you could rent out. And it's really nicely done. Of course, there's also a lot of Russians living there, a lot of Russian expats, Ukrainian expats are living there. A lot of other country expats as well prefer this region. So what is the price for your apartment? So this apartment here, for example, 2+1, 90 square meters, right? It's going for 2.4, 2.5, 2.4 million basically. Pretty decent, right? Not bad, not bad. The price obviously is you can see, because of the area and the quality of the build, quality of the apartment, it's like that. Now, if we were to go to Sea View in the same region, Konyaalti, Sea View Apartments are, look at this one here. This is a 3+1. No, sorry, this is a 2+1, and it is going for 4.7 million, let's say, right? 4.7 million. So the price has jumped double when it comes to Sea View, right? So Konyaalti Sea View. Okay, so now let's look at Lara. In Lara, what do we got here? So Lara is the other end of Antalya. So Lara, we're looking at this apartment here, which is in Güzel Oba. It's a 3+1, 3-bedroom apartment, not a Sea View one. And this one's going for 2.2 million. Not bad, not bad. So you got here, it's you know, it's brand new again. It's 150 square meters, pretty big sized apartment. And this is a dual floor. It's a duplex. So that's a dual floor, which has a shared swimming pool as well. And that's the Lara apartment here. It's 2.2 million. So in Konyaalti, if you remember, we saw that one was also 2.4 million. It was much smaller for 2+1. So now Lara, you can get something bigger for the same, if not, actually this one's less than that Konyaalti apartment. So the prices are a bit, you know, it's quite cheaper here in terms of when you compare the two. Lara is a bit older part of town. So Lara is you'll see it's not as organized, but still is a premium place. A lot of tourists still come here. This has got a huge beach area, which, you know, in the summertime, it's quite packed. Now let's look at Lara Sea View Apartments. So Sea View, if you remember in Konyaalti, we had checked was 4.7 million. But this part of Lara Sea View, this is absolutely incredible. You could see it's 9.5 million for a Sea View apartment, right? So 170 square meters. So 9.5 million, how much is that right now? That is $650,000 for a 3-bedroom apartment, Sea View in Antalya. $650,000, right? Whereas a non-Sea View was in dollars, 2.2 million, is $150,000. So there's a huge difference in Sea View and non-Sea View. You can see that, right? There's a huge, huge difference. The next question is, what is a Sea View apartment? How much does it cost in Istanbul? In Istanbul, we're looking at a Sea View apartment. Look at this, 11.25 million Turkish liras in the Asian part of Istanbul, because in the European part, literally, there's nothing available right now. So that is about $770,000. Now, this is actually quite a, you know, because this Asian side, people are still not aware of this, and the apartment size is also quite small. It's just 98 square meters of usable area. But boy, that sea view is something to look at. I mean, every single day when you wake up and you're just going out to the window and you're seeing the Marmara Sea there. Wow, that's incredible. This one is actually eligible for citizenship as well. So if anybody is interested, you could probably get, like, actually you can get multiple citizenship from that, because it's, you know, it's a $700,000 apartment. If you were to ask me to choose in this case, I would definitely go for the Istanbul one because of the price difference here. I mean, just 700, you're paying like $100,000, $150,000 more, and getting something Sea View in Istanbul is just, you know, next level, obviously. In Antalya, again, Lara is a premium area, so I'm not going to discount that too. It's got its, you know, it's got its value. But Sea View to get in Istanbul, it's just, you know, very hard, especially in a view which is, you know, not partial. I'm talking full sea view, right? So, and this one has a beautiful one. Now let's get back to the, you know, normal apartments where the prices are reasonable, and I'm going to give you some reasonable practical prices here, right? So non-Sea View, let's talk about the non-Sea View prices. We are looking at Bagcilar, for example, and Bagcilar is a very nice, you know, you might have heard things about Bagcilar. I don't know, people might, you know, it's nothing, it's a great area. Bagcilar is a great area for conservative people, especially if you know which parts of Bagcilar to look at. So we're looking at starting in Bagcilar, starting prices, and please do not go with the starting price again, is at 1 million. And you can get something for that, but we want to stick to a safe number here. So average price, which you have lots of options to choose from, you are looking at 2 million liras, sorry, 2 million liras for a 2+1. So 2 million liras for a 2-bedroom apartment in Istanbul, which is a non-Sea View in a nice area, decent area, which is less than $150,000 basically. This 2 million is 136, for example, right? So you're looking at, but something which is 3+1, let's say if you want to go, then you're pushing it up. Let's look at this apartment here, for example, right? So this is a 3+1. This is pretty much average, right? For a decent apartment, which is well built. It's got, you know, looks beautiful, looks nice, you know, really nice place, right? So a 3+1 would run you approximately $170,000, right? 2.5 million. That's what you're looking at, right? If you're looking for something which is accessible by the metro, you know, you can easily jump onto the metro within 30 minutes, be in Sultan Ahmed, or be in Taksim, be in Shishli, be in some of these popular, you know, touristic spots. You want to go hang out or pretty much get to any part of the city easily. So Bagcilar is a lot accessible. It's not like Basaksehir. Basaksehir is great for long-term living. I'm not saying that, but in terms of if you're just looking for a property where you want to be easily accessible by metro, by public transit, then Bagcilar is recommended. And the prices are reasonable too. In Basaksehir, if you go there, the prices are a lot higher, especially with the parts which are accessible by metro. So that is the difference with Bagcilar and Basaksehir. Speaking of Basaksehir, let's give an example here. So we're looking at Basaksehir, Kayashehir basically. This is the premium best area in Basaksehir, right? Where the mosque is. And you've probably seen my other video on Basaksehir. I'll link it above so you can take a look at that. And here's a 2+1, a 2-bedroom apartment, right? So a 2-bedroom apartment in this complex here is going for 3.6 million, which is in dollars, I'll tell you right now. 3.6 million is roughly 245,000, just $250,000 for a 2+1, right? So there's not even a 3-bedroom. So that's what you're looking at, roughly speaking, in Basaksehir. Now, if you want something a little bit still in Basaksehir region, but this part is not Kayabashi, it's not the main part of Basaksehir. It's another sort of new developing area. It's called Bahcesehir. In Bahcesehir, check this out. This is a building which you'll see. You can easily spot these actually when you drive by. It's going for 2.65 for a 2-bedroom. So roughly, you know, half pretty much like, a little bit more than half, right? So in Basaksehir, Kayabaşı, it was $245. Here it's $180,000, right? So roughly about half the price, a little bit more than half, but you can pretty much get a decent saving here by being in this area. But this area is obviously, it's still great. It's got a great vibe. But Basaksehir, Kayabaşı is the #1 region for conservative Muslim expats. So that has its own appeal. Not that Bahcesehir is not. It's still not that far away. And it's starting to also develop and get more expats too. So this could be the upcoming area. So if you want to invest and be ready for something in the next few years, this is an area you want to look into. So by now, I'm sure you have a good idea of both cities in terms of their real estate prices, in terms of what these cities have to offer. So I'm sure now you can somewhat start making up your mind whether you want to stay in Istanbul or whether you want to live or invest in Antalya. So feel free again to get in touch with me. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.